Hello, welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. The date is June 7, 2020, week number 15 of the coronavirus social distancing, staying at home, and this is quite late at night. You're looking out at the backyard out of my kitchen window. There's a bit of a chill wind coming through the window, but it at the same time reminds me just how nice it is to be able to be indoors, to how nice it is to have a place to stay, to be warm, and how nice it is to be able to stand here addressing everyone while some nice, relaxing flute music, piano music playing in the background. Life is good, at least comparing to some of the places I've been throughout my lifetime. Just remembering that when I was a teenager, I actually went through a period of time when I had to sleep out there on the street. Yeah, Johnny Tiger was homeless for a little while during teenage years. But that's not really what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is ghosts. Ghosts, spirit, whatever you call it. Do you believe in them? Do you like scary movies and horror stories? I love those things. I love horror stories. I love scary movies. I gobble them up like they were hotcakes and they never get boring. Now, if you are a fan of horror stories, scary stuff, then I highly recommend the No Sleep podcast. Uh, Search for No Sleep. It's all one word. NOSLEEP. No Sleep podcast. It's by far the best ghost story, creepy crawly horror podcast out there, in my opinion. I know I'm not being paid by them, but whenever there's good work being done, I like to give credit where credit is due, and I like to give them the shout out they deserve. I've always enjoyed ghost stories, horror stories. I guess because I was raised in the kind of family where emotion was dangerous. Now, to some of you, that might sound totally ridiculous. How can emotion be dangerous? But I'm sure that some of you out there that listening to me now can totally appreciate how true that is. In my family, if you were too happy, you could get into trouble. You get told that you were like an idiot. What are you laughing at? What are you smiling at? You're like an idiot. Stop smiling. It's not funny. You're supposed to be serious. If you get too sad, you get into trouble. What are you crying for? You want to cry? You want to cry? Give you something to really cry about. If you got angry, oh, you really got into trouble. The first time I got hospitalized by my father was because I dared to show anger, and I wasn't even showing anger at him. So all that is to say that I grew up in a kind of environment where emotion was not encouraged, stimulation was not encouraged. So there has always been a little part of me inside that crave uh, stimulation, excitement, and heart pumping thrill. Now, of course, being totally blind, I am denied of a lot of those opportunities. Some of the things that can bring people excitement when they look at them, to me, it's not that great. Uh, when you guys watch something like Jaws, scary movies like Jaws, uh, you can go by the visual and you can anticipate what's going to happen. And there's a lot of visual cue in there, set up the atmosphere, the mood for you to be scared. But for me, it's just listening to the water, listening to the kind of scary music, and just waiting for things to happen. And then when things happen, I would be asking, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" And then hopefully someone would tell me what happened. Uh, yeah, it's just kind of bleh. So I'm thinking that is why, ever since I was a child, I always enjoyed ghost stories because when I listen to a scary story, a ghost story, that actually gave me all the things my brain needed to kick my imagination into overdrive and allow me to feel a bit of that fear and excitement and uh, hiding under the blanket, shivering and scared and jumping at every sound in the house. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like that, but you know, for me, that's one of the ways I can get some excitement out of life. And also because they don't really scare me. It's like a game I play with myself. I know that I'm supposed to be scared, and so I let myself feel a bit of what I'm supposed to feel, but they don't really scare me. The reason being that I stopped being scared of ghosts long ago. And I hope for some of you that live in terror of spirits, of demons, of ghosts. Some of you that live in constant fear, don't want to go out at night and you're scared to go to the bathroom at night, stuff like that. I hope after hearing what I have to say today, it will help you as much as it helped me. You see, when I was 4 or 5 years old, I already loved ghost stories, but at the same time, I lived in holy terror of them. I was seriously scared of ghosts, spirits, zombies, things that would go bump in the night, things that would go creeping out from under your bed and suddenly grab your ankle and drag you off to God knows where no one would ever see or hear from you again. I was really scared of stuff like that. Like not like scared in the exciting way, but scared. Uh, like I wouldn't be able to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night on my own without waking up my nanny, and hopefully she would go with me and stand guard outside the bathroom. It was that ridiculous. But it changed one time when I was in the hospital. I was in a lot of hospitals when I was growing up. My parents did a lot of things, subjecting me to a lot of surgeries and treatment, hoping that I could get my eyesight back. And every time they did something like that, it was spending another month in the hospital recovering. So my childhood between the age of 3 and the age of 8 was basically hospital, recovery, out for a few weeks, surgery again, recovery, out for a couple of days, surgery again. Now, if you were scared of ghosts, the hospital was a dreadful place to be. You know there's a lot of people dying in there. You know a lot of those people probably didn't die happy, and the place smelled weird, and there's always a kind of echo going on in the hallway. At night, it was so quiet because you couldn't play loud music, and it was always dark, and sometimes it seemed like the entire hospital just vanished, and you were the only person in there in the uh, deepest part of the night When you wake up in that confused state, you don't remember where you are at. You're in a strange bed. You're in a strange place. You smell the medicinal smell in the air, and you suddenly remember that people die here, and probably somewhere in the basement there is a morgue. And what's in the morgue? Corpses. Corpses that may just come up the stairs and come to get you. Ooh. Hospitals were terrifying to a kid like me, uh, especially because I was blind and I couldn't see anything going on. I could just go by noises and sounds and unidentified uh, audible signals. This was at another one of these hospital recovery rooms. I remember there was a elderly gentleman who shared the same recovery room that I was at. I no longer remember his name. I wish I did, because I think in a subtle way he made one of the biggest difference in my life, a long-lasting difference. This gentleman, he was recovering from some kind of heart procedure, and since him and I were roommates, he would constantly tell me stories and tell me jokes, and we would try to keep each other's spirit up. And I remember one day, in the middle of the night, I had a nightmare, and I started crying, and no one could calm me down. And he said to me, come sit beside me. Why are you so scared? What is it that you're scared of? And I said, I'm scared of ghosts. We are in this place, this hospital is full of ghosts. People dying here. There must be a lot of spirit around. I'm afraid they're going to get me. He didn't tell me there's no such thing as ghost. None of that. What he said to me made an awful lot of sense, even to a child who was barely 5 years old. He said, Johnny, why are you afraid of ghosts? And I said, because they're scary. They're waiting around to get people. They're always trying to hurt people. They're trying to scare people. And he laughed. He said, Johnny, think about it. What are ghosts? What are spirits? They are what we turn into after we die. So he said, imagine me dying. You and I, we are friends. So I'm not going to suddenly turn into some unreasonable evil creature just because I die. If I die, I'll still be your friend. I'll look out for you. And bad, evil ghosts, they get locked away in hell. They get put away to eternal torment. The ones that are allowed to wander around are the good guys. The people like me. So we won't be causing trouble. We are not hanging around to hurt people. We probably have our own things to do. We have our own ghostly daily life to tend to. We don't have time to sit around to scare people, to jump out of the shadow to scare you. Don't be silly. That's not what ghost is about. Being a ghost is just like being a people. You just exist on a different dimension, that's all. Doesn't change who you are. From that night onward, I was never scared of ghosts ever again. I still believe that there's something out there, spirit, ghost, higher power, whatever, different dimension. I believe something is out there, something is right here beside us, but I'm not scared of them because I believe he was right. You know, and the most sad and ironic part was about a week after he told me that, he passed away in his sleep. But what he said will stay with me for the rest of my life. As long as my heart is pure, I do no evil, I will fear no evil. Thank you for checking out today's Soul Search Sunday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Music Monday. For now, stay strong, stay safe. Don't let the bed bug bite. Have a good night.